In the shadow of the Cold War, Latin America became a battleground, not just of ideologies, but of survival. The United States, obsessed with crushing communism, orchestrated and supported some of the most brutal dictatorships in modern history. At the heart of this terror was Operation Condor, a secret transnational assassination network that hunted down, tortured, and disappeared tens of thousands. But how exactly did it work? Who gave the orders? And what did the U.S. know? Officially launched in November 1975 at a secret meeting in Santiago, Chile, Operation Condor was a joint intelligence-sharing system between 6 military regimes: Argentina, Bolivia, Brazil, Chile, Paraguay, and Uruguay. But its roots go deeper, back to the US-backed coup in Brazil, 1964, which set the blueprint for future takeovers. The US feared another Cuba-style revolution, so it trained and armed Latin American militaries through the School of the Americas, a Pentagon program that taught interrogation, torture, and counterinsurgency tactics. By the 1970s, these regimes were working together to eliminate leftists, students, union leaders, and even priests, not just in their own countries, but across borders. Operation Condor had 3 levels. First, intelligence sharing, which involved tracking dissidents. Second, joint covert operations, which included kidnappings across borders. And third, Phase 3, the most secretive, where death squads assassinated targets globally, including in the US and Europe. The first major Condor-linked coup was in Chile, 1973, when General Augusto Pinochet, with CIA support, overthrew democratically elected socialist Salvador Allende. The U.S. had sabotaged Chile's economy beforehand, creating chaos to justify military rule. In Argentina, the junta led by Jorge Videla perfected state terror. Victims were drugged, thrown from planes into the Rio de la Plata, or held in secret detention centers like ESME. Uruguay, once called the Switzerland of America, became a police state. 1 in 50 citizens was detained or tortured. Paraguay's Alfredo Stroessner was the longest-ruling Condor dictator, from 1954 to 1989. His police kept meticulous records, later found in 1992 as the Archives of Terror, proving Condor's existence. Stroessner, and convicted pedophile, remained in power for 35 years, and was responsible for almost 20,000 registered tortured people. Hugo Banzer's coup in Bolivia occurred in 1971, was directly backed by the CIA. His brutal regime, besides the U.S. support, also have worked with Klaus Barbie, a known member of Nazi Gestapo who fled from Germany and lived for 30 years in Cochabamba. Brazil's dictatorship from 1964 to 1985 was the first U.S.-backed coup in the region. The government suppressed political opposition, exiled dissidents, and employed torture against activists. The police model of dictatorship that have committed atrocities against working class is the same up to the present. The U.S. didn't just turn a blind eye, it actively enabled Condor. After Condor assassinated Letelier, a Chilean diplomat and oppositor to Pinochet's dictatorship in D.C., Kissinger warned Latin allies to cool it, but never stopped supporting them. A 1978 cable admits the U.S. knew Condor was a multinational effort against terrorism, which was really a code for killing dissidents. Operation Condor had the main goal of brutalize any possibility of workers' organization and increase of class consciousness, but the scenario opened a window to a next level of inhumanity: transform Latin America in a neoliberal laboratory. In the 1970s, a group of U.S. economists known as the Chicago Boys, trained by Milton Friedman, believed that only a crisis could force radical free market reforms. Their theory? The shock doctrine: use chaos like a coup to push policies that would never pass democratically. Just weeks after Pinochet's coup, the Chicago Boys handed him the brick, a 500-page plan to dismantle the state. With tanks in the streets, they privatized over 500 state companies, slashed wages by 40%, and opened Chile to foreign corporations. U.S. firms like ITT and Anaconda Copper got sweetheart deals. Argentina had once been one of Latin America's strongest economies, but in 1977, the junta handed power to Finance Minister José Alfredo Martínez de Hoz, who froze wages while prices soared. Inflation hit 500%. He also deregulated banks, leading to a financial collapse, and privatized industries, selling them to U.S. and European firms. Brazil's dictatorship, from 1964 to 1985, started with nationalist rhetoric, but by the 1970s, it embraced IMF-backed austerity. They cut social spending while building useless megaprojects and took on massive foreign debt, leading to the 1980s lost decade of stagnation. Operation Condor wasn't just history, it reshaped Latin America. The economic policies imposed under dictatorships led to today's inequality. The trauma still haunts survivors, and the U.S. never fully acknowledged its role. Next time someone says America spreads democracy, remember Operation Condor and stand against the narrative that have spread blood all over the globe. And don't forget, like the video and subscribe the channel to keep thinking the world how it really is.